Red alert. Red alert.
This week's image contains my favorite thing, sarcasm. It says, "Science, ruining everything since 1543. And I could not sarcastically agree more. I mean, I happen to like polio and having to travel by horse and carriage, but then science came along with its fancy vaccinations and faster means of transportation and spoiled the whole thing for everyone. Well, I guess I can always live vicariously through the miserable lives of my fictional family on the Oregon Trail." So what does our author have in mind regarding great things science has ruined? Let's see. We have the solar system with Earth in the center. That must represent the ancient notion of the sun orbiting the Earth. Next is a recreation of Adam and God from Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel painting, which must represent the existence of God in general. And lastly, we have a unicorn, which must represent, well, a unicorn. So in summary, science disproved orbiting the Earth, disproved God, and disproved unicorns. What a buzzkill you are, Mr. Science. A buzzkill indeed. But is this really the case? Has science really disproven these things? Well, first we'll start with the notion that the sun orbited the Earth. This is definitely a genuine disproval. Just before his death in 1543, Nicholas Copernicus, a German astronomer and mathematician, published a book postulating that the Earth rotates around the sun, not the other way around. This was an important milestone in science, launching the Copernican revolution, and most assuredly what our author is referring to when he said that science has been ruining things since 1543. So yes, science did end that ancient notion that the sun orbited the Earth. But it is our second subject where we run into some problems. Has science really disproven God? Well, no. See, God is a supernatural entity, and science explores the natural world. Science can only extend into the supernatural by making inferences from the natural data. So they're kind of in two different realms. Now granted, scientific materialism has given people an alternative explanation for the universe without a God responsible for its existence, but that is all it is, an alternative explanation. Science itself is incapable of proving or disproving God because if God exists, he exists beyond the bounds of the natural world. Besides, if science really has beyond a doubt disproven God, we wouldn't see any scientists that believe in God. Yet there are tons of scientists that believe in God. Ironically, the scientists that invented the scientific method believed in God. And even more ironically, Mr. Copernicus, the guy we were just talking about, also believed in God. So clearly science is not anti-God. Then there is our poor unicorn. Has science disproven the unicorn? Well, technically no. For science to disprove something, there would need to be data collected to disprove it. And I'm compelled to ask what data there is to disprove that unicorns exist. Surely you might say, well, no one has ever seen one. But this is just the absence of evidence, not evidence of absence. I can make a similar claim that since we have no proof of extraterrestrial life, that I have disproven the existence of extraterrestrial life in our universe. But just like the unicorn, I haven't really disproven anything. One could safely say that they believe there are no unicorns, and granted, we have no reason to believe unicorns exist. But to say science has disproven the existence of unicorns is quite another thing. Lastly, I can't help but speculate, based on the whole God thing, that this image is actually attacking the Bible in general. Some people believe the Bible says the sun orbits the earth and that unicorns do exist. So in that context, this image is stating that science has, in a way, ruined the Bible. But does the Bible say that the sun orbits the earth and that unicorns exist? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. See, the Bible doesn't directly say the sun orbits the earth. It just references the sun moving through the sky, rising, setting, etc. But is this really that shocking? I mean, we all know now that the earth orbits the sun, yet we still refer to sunsets, sunrises, and make references of the sun moving through the sky. Even astronomers do this. It is not wrong to say these things because it is merely an observational statement from our vantage point on Earth. Think of it like this. If I was riding in a car and the driver asked me to take a picture of a tree that we were going to pass by, but we were going too fast and we passed it before I could get the camera ready, I might say, "Sorry, but the tree went by too fast." This is a correct thing to say despite the fact that we were the ones going too fast and the tree didn't move at all. The driver wouldn't think I believed the car was stationary while everything else around us moved by. In the same way, the Bible's reference of the sun's movement should not be misinterpreted as confirmation that the sun orbited the earth. As for the unicorn, it is in the Bible, but only in the original King James Version from the 17th century. You won't find the unicorn in any newer translations because over time translations have improved. The original Hebrew word that was being translated to unicorn in the KJV was riem, which I'm probably saying wrong, but I'm no scholar. Real scholars, on the other hand, argue as to what exactly riem means. Some believe it means wild ox, others believe it means one horn, which is why the KJV uses unicorn when translated. Now you might be thinking, one horn? That's crazy talk. No animals have one horn, except for those mythical unicorns. Well, that might be true if you overlooked Indian rhinos, elasmotheriums, narwhals, and mountain horned agamas. But in context, the wild ox translation seems to be the best fit. So it wasn't science that took unicorns out of the Bible, it was improved translation from Bible scholars that took unicorns out of the Bible. In summary, the only thing in this image science actually ruined was the notion that the sun revolved around the earth, which was ironically discovered by a guy who believed in God. But did he believe in unicorns? That is the real question, my friends. In the meantime, it'll be interesting to see what else science ruins in the future. With any hope, it'll be Lady Gaga, selfies, and skinny jeans.